DS.
Yes, perfect. Accept. Now, what SAR level would he be?
All software mesh. Let's say normal. No.
Yeah, we would do normal because of the spinal cord stimulator.
Right.
So let's do that. Let's click it on that side too. Okay, no. Okay, let's get it going. Already in it. See how it says in RX?
Yeah.
So, save and scan. Okay. Now it's going to take about 30 seconds, and then once that's done, this is the asset calibration. So we're going to go into that, and we're going to drop our slices in wherever we want signal. So just right in the middle of the brain. Okay, we still have like 30 seconds. Okay, so let's say the patient has a history of seizures or epilepsy. What we'd want to do is we'd want to add in an additional coronal oblique sequence. So we're going to click Add Task, Add Sequence, and I haven't been able to find one that I've wanted through SimonMed. So let's go to GE's built-in protocols, and let's go to hippocampus, double click on that, and we're going to click on coronal T2 flare, bring that over, and accept. There we go. Did not mean to put it at the top. So let's drag that up and drop our slices right in the middle of the brain. Okay, let's save and scan. Let's left click and highlight the coronal T2 flare. Right click, cut. Let's left click at the axial T2 flare. Highlight it, left click. There we go, now it's highlighted. Now paste. Now it's underneath. Okay, so let's go to the sagittal T1 flare now. So sagittal T1 through axial T2 flare is just a typical brain. Okay, so we're going to start off with number one. Let's find our money slices. Remember, we're going to middle click in each plane. That way we don't drop our slices. I could tell you right off the bat, this is our money slice because we have the corpus down here. I like this one as well, but you may be able to find a better one. So let's find a money slice in that plane. That one's a good one. Keep going. You could use either one of those. Okay, sounds good. So next, number two, let's left click and drop our slices in the sagittal plane. Okay, I want you to use that top line, bring it down right here in the bottom of the rostrum and the splenium of the corpus, and angle that. Let's angle it. It's too low. I like that you drag it away because it makes it less sensitive. So let's recenter that. It's too high. Look how much space we have up top. Yeah, that's a little too low. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Now, right off the bat, we're almost cutting off the nose. So let's move it anterior just a little bit. There you go. Okay. Now, let's actually bring this up just a little bit. A little bit more. Keep going. There you go. Okay. Let's increase the FFE just because it's a little too close. Increase it above the... Yeah, there you go. Okay. So now we're going to move on to step 3. We're going to angle in these two planes. And if you can't see that well, what can you do to make it brighter and adjust the grayscale?
Window.
Exactly. Okay. Now we're going to click right here. Now that we've made them all brighter, let's unclick Update All. There you go. And now you can proceed with angling over here and over here. A little less. So remember, you have 2 dots. Don't just look at the one. Let's cut a slice on the right, and you'll see your dots shift over. There you go. That's a little easier. keep going, other way. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Alright, so now let's go down here. Okay, that looks good. So I want you to scroll through your axials and we're going to do coverage. Okay, let's go down one. So we have more slices than needed. We could cut one on that side and that side probably. Let's try it. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm happy with that. So let's save and scan. And let's go into the coronal. Okay, so same thing again. Let's find our money slices. So there you go. That last one's the one we used, that one. That's the money slice because we have the corpus. And that's the one we use. Okay, so next let's drop our box in which sequence are we planning?
Corona.
Yeah, so let's drop our box. Now we're gonna use that side line, yeah, that line on the right, and put it right in the middle and rotate your box accordingly. There you go, let's recenter that. That's basically just to rotate the box with the angling structure. Now we're going to come over here. Actually, let's bring it down a little bit. You can move it over here. I want that perpendicular line right on the bottom of the corpus. Right there, perfect. Okay. So now let's angle in that plane. Right. Now I want you to angle in this plane. You can extend those, yeah, like a couple if you want. There you go. And lastly, we're going to do coverage. So let's add 2 slices to the back. Maybe cut that last one, it's not getting anything. Okay, and then let's cut like 4 from the front. Right there, perfect. Okay, now in about 15 seconds or less, you're going to get your new sagittal right here, or at least half of it, because that's currently scanning, it's active. No. That auto view always brings up the new the new images as we're scanning. Okay, so when that comes up any second now, I want you to select series and bring it up in your sagittal plane. There you go, let's window that, let's make it a little darker. There you go. Okay, so you can angle that a little bit more. There you go. And that looks great to me. So we're going to save that and turn on auto scan. So once we save any sequence, it now becomes RX'd. ACT means active, it's currently scanning. So let's go into the DWI. So here you can see we are in RX. That means we're currently planning it. Once we save it, it now becomes RX'd. Okay? Now auto scan will automatically scan anything that is saved or RX'd. Okay? Again, we're going to start with step 1. Let's find our money slices in this plane and that plane, the coronal and axial. There you go. That's it. There you go. Okay. Number 2, box. What sequence are we planning? Which plane are we going to drop the box in? Perfect. Now let's grab that vertical line and bring it over. You know, it looks pretty angles. Yeah, so let's recenter that. Okay. Now we're going to come over here. Other part of finding money slices is bringing up the new sequences. So let's bring up that sagittal again. Look, this is SE1, Series 1. That's the 3-plane localizer. But we have a sagittal. Let's use that sagittal instead. There you go. Okay, so now we're going to begin step 3. We're going to angle and angle over there. So in both of those planes, we're going to angle. Okay. Oh, less. Right there. Okay. So now, finally, we're going to do coverage. Let's drop 3 slices off the top in the sagittal plane. Let's use the sagittal plane because that's the best image we have. One more. That top slice isn't quite getting anything. And then now inferiorly, let's add like a slice or 2 because we want to cover below the foramen magnum, which would be right there. There you go. Perfect. Now, final step, I want you to right click, hold, and move the image back and forth. Let's check coverage in the front. We only have a little bit. Okay, so go more, other way. There we go. We only have a little bit of coverage. Now let's check the back. We have a lot of coverage. So we're gonna move the slices anterior, but instead of doing that over here where we risk moving them up or down, we're gonna do it right here. So let's just move it anterior a little bit more. Perfect, right there. Now let's recheck it. Perfect. Okay, let's save. And since auto scan is on, it will become RX'd and then active. All right, we're gonna skip the T2 and go to the T2 flare because the T2 has a weird format. So again, let's find our money slices. There you go. Let's select series. Yep. Some softwares like automatically have the new ones up already. You don't have to select series.
But it ain't this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not this one. Okay, so.
We're doing axial.
It looks like a magpie.
All right, so let's drop our FOV. We're going to basically do exactly what we did in that last one. So let's use, we already know that that line is angled perfectly with it, but you can check if you want. Okay, now let's angle. We're gonna move on to angling. Let's angle in the other 2 planes. Go. Okay, now coverage. Let's no. So you're skipping 1 step. We have like 3-4 extra slices up top that we don't need. There you go. And let's add 2 on the bottom. Perfect. Okay, now you can perform that step you were doing. It's good, but it's a little tight. So let's just increase the FOV. We're all good. Great job. Great job. Let's save. And now we're going to go into the axial T2. And the reason why we skipped it initially is because it looks like this. So let's click Graphic RX, and we're going to copy RX to the axial T2 flare and copy FOV, thickness, and spacing, and accept. And you'll see our slices pop up, the image planning, and now we can save it.
Standard is this just for this software?
What?
Do an axial T2.
Standard. Okay, so let's go. Oh, this format? No, I don't know. It's just for the software. But axial T2 is a part of like every brain. Okay, so every brain protocol. So let's go into the coronal T2 flare. So again, we're going to bring up our money slices. Remember, we not only have a new sagittal, but we also have a new coronal. And we're going to have to window that. It's the right and down. Okay. All right, let's find our money slice in that plane. Let's go back like 3. Okay. Keep going. Yeah, I'd say like right there. Right there, perfect. Okay. Let's find a money slice. Okay, so this is the protocol for a history of seizures or epilepsy. It's a typical brain, and you add in this 1 additional sequence. Okay, very, very common.
What is it called? The additional sequence.
Coronal T2 flare. All right, so let's drop our box in the coronal plane. Okay, and let's extend those slices. So for some reason it wants to bring up a sagittal. So let's extend those. There you go. And okay, before you start getting crazy, let's recenter that. Okay, so if you think about it, we're looking at it from left to right.
Yeah.
Okay? Left to right. So how can we turn the slices, and that's why we get a sagittal view, that's why our FOV is in the sagittal plane. How can we turn our slices for them to face anterior to posterior?
Turn them?
Yeah, but think about it, if you were to turn those, would that be anterior to posterior or superior to inferior?
Superior to inferior.
Exactly. So how do we turn them anterior to posterior?
Turn this one?
Exactly. Okay, love it.
Wouldn't that
Now-
be
Coronal.
right? Oh, is it?
This is the axial. So if you think about it, if you're looking down on it, we have left, right, anterior, posterior. But in this plane, we have left, right, superior, and inferior.
Right. But
So
are
you have to...
the numbers. Are those the slices?
Yes, that's correct. So you always want them posterior to anterior. And a little trick, you could click R on the keyboard and watch the numbers. You could swap them if you need. Okay, so we are looking for temporal lobe epilepsy. Okay, we are evaluating the hippocampus, which is in the temporal lobe. So the temporal lobes are not at midline, so I'm gonna have you scroll up or down in the sagittal plane until we find the hippocampus. Two more. Right there, you could see a little bit of the, right there. Here is the hippocampus. So I want you to grab that line and put it right on that. And let's angle with it. And hold on, actually before we do that, let's click auto view. That should always be selected. So we do have axial, so let's bring up our new axial. Before we oblique it, we are going to angle it in this plane. So let's bring up our new axial, window that to the right and down. Keep going and down further, 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 further. There you go. Okay, so does that look angled? It's pretty angled to me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to check since we had it. Okay, so now that we know we're angled here, we can oblique it. Even maybe before that, let's do this. I'm sorry, I should have had you do this first. After we chose the slices, let's use that sideline and angle with the forks. Or did you already do that? Okay, looks good. Okay, cool. So yeah, we would normally money slices box angling, and so now we can oblique that. Obliquing you want to do last because then it's going to mess with your FOV and it's going to mess with your angles over here. So you always want to do that last when you're angling. Okay, so, all right. And now we're going to do coverage. I want you to add like maybe a slice in front. Perfect. And you're going to add like maybe 2 slices behind the shark fin right here. 2 more, 2 behind it. There you go. Okay. And that is a protocol for temporal lobe epilepsy or a history of seizures. Let's angle that a little bit more. There you go. Perfect. So you see what happens here? That's why we oblique it last. Okay, looks great. Let's save, and it will automatically scan. Now, what do you need to do before you take your patient off and send them home?
Review images.
Exactly. So let's check those. Let's check what we have right now. We don't want to have to scroll through all of them once we finish.
This is still the coolest part.
All right, great job.